Well, I thought it was a great game for our guys. I mean, that's what exhibition games are for, to learn about your team, learn about your chemistry and your rotations. And it gave us a great job to see that. I thought our guys did a good job. We battled. We had our moments. In both games, I think we got to find a way to play 40 minutes as opposed to 25 minutes or 20 minutes. And those are things you can only find out when you're in this situation. So I'm happy to see some of my guys, in the roles they're in for us, stepping up and contributing. And now we have to do a better job of helping them understand how do we, make this a 40-minute performance as opposed to a 20, 25-minute performance. And I give LSU credit. They're big, they're long, they're talented, and they made plays. I mean, so, they made it hard for us at times defensively, but these are things that we're going to grow and learn from as we continue to build as a team.
In years past, you would have maybe played an exhibition against a Division II team, maybe a local team in a close scrimmage. What more do you get out of playing teams like this? How much more information do you have about your team going into the season playing high-level teams?
I get a lot more information, and I get my players to start to adjust to the level that we at. Some of my players have never played at this level before, and so there's no way around it. The only way you can have them understand how intense it's going to be or how physical or what the pace is going to look like is for them to face those type of opponents. So the last two games we played intentionally was designed to do that. So these guys now understand on a nightly basis, this is what we're going to see. And now, we chose them for a reason. We chose them because we believe in them. And now what's going to happen is they'll develop better, I think, from having, face opponents like this. I think they will develop and respond faster than if we had maybe eased them into this and didn't give them a real approximation of what they're going to see. And so I think it was the right decision for this group. Yeah, as a competitor, you want to win these games, but the last I've seen, I think we all start back at 0-0 next week, across the country, and we move from there. And I think we'll be better from these experiences.
Coach, similar to that, not the results you wanted, but how good was it for your players to face adversity, especially early on in these first two games?
It was hugely important for us because that's what we're going to see like I said, on a nightly basis once we start up on Tuesday. Every team is coming to compete at a high level, and our guys need to know how to respond in those situations. And the only way you can learn that is to be put in them and grow from them. Like, this gives us great tape for us to watch and learn about our guys and what they can do, and then we move forward in that regard. So I think we're going to benefit from playing the opponents we played this preseason.
To follow up on that, how did you feel about the response in the second half tonight?
I thought our response for the second half wasn't what I wanted to see from the respect that we started the second half off not the way I wanted to. And the fact that I had already, burned one of my timeouts because we were on the sideline and we were about to turn it over. And these are teachable moments. Like the young man, Chris Johnson, he did some really good things. But in that moment, he uses the timeout. And so when you use that timeout, I started the second half with only 2 timeouts. And so then when they're on their run and I use one of my timeouts, I'm down to 1. But now you have to use that timeout to challenge. So if I want to challenge, I got to be ready to burn that timeout. I can't challenge if I don't have a timeout. So I have to hold that one timeout, even though some things are going up and down. In a typical game, I would have used it. I'm now stuck with, I may have to hold it unless I'm desperate and I have to see it getting too far away. I had to hold that timeout so I have it at the end. And that's the predicament I was put in, especially when we had the arrow. So if we just held on to that basketball on the sideline and they wrapped it up, it would have been our ball anyway. So these are things that we have to know, and that's on us. Continue to teach these guys. Some of these guys don't have really, quality basketball minutes. They have talent enough to be very successful, but they have to go through stuff like this. The only way you can learn is by being in some of these situations. You have to get some on-the-job training, and that's what he's getting now. He didn't play a lot last year at all. He sat out most of the season. So he's put in a tough position against a very good team.
Coach, you said last season that boxing out and rebounding is an art. What do you want to see from your guys, especially when 3 or 4 are being sent to the paint instead of maybe coming to a guy on a weak side closeout and they're just really stacking in there trying to get that?
Well, it's important for us to understand rebounding is key, because it brings physicality. You also put yourself in a position where, there's fouls and things that can occur in those situations, in those scrums. So there are a lot of things can happen if you do it properly. I thought we rebounded the ball fairly well. I mean, we tied them in rebounding, and actually we had more offensive rebounds than they did. And they're a big team. Their front line was definitely longer and bigger than our front line, but we were able to still compete on the boards because our guys, have made that an emphasis for us to be successful. And coming off our game versus Duke, we did not perform well on the glass. So I wanted to see how did we respond. I thought, looking back at that, I thought that was a response. I thought we got better in the area that we emphasized over the last 2 days of practice.
What did you see differently from your team defensively than you had seen from them Tuesday?
I thought we were better defensively for the most part. I thought we had a couple lapses where, where we were on ball and we got a little bit too aggressive. We got them in the bonus too fast because we were a little bit undisciplined with our D. I think they meant well. They're playing hard. They have to understand the importance of staying disciplined and not picking up fouls quickly, because I think they were in the bonus with about 14 minutes to go in the half, and that's tough. I mean, we didn't get in the bonus till like 1:48 to go in the game. So it's a tale of two different teams. One playing with a lot of force and putting you in positions where you may pick up some tic-tac fouls. The other team, we didn't put them in position enough where we would get to the line or into the bonus earlier. So these are things that we learn, that we'll talk about as a team on Tuesday, and we'll look at working at getting better at it.
Riley Kugel was hot, especially in the first half. What do you like about his game? What's he going to bring to your team this year?
Well, Riley's a talented player. We still bring him along. I mean, he's still a player who is learning our system, and he's still, figuring out, what he's really capable of accomplishing on this level. Like we think, Riley, the way he's capable of playing at a level that a lot of guys can't play at. But we have to make sure that he understands how to work on getting there, consistently. And that's something that he's been really good at practice, attempting to do. And he's doing it in the games as well. He's trying to do the things we're asking him to do. And I think he'll only continue to get better as long as he, stack these days, continue to look to get better every time he steps foot on the court and in practice.
Obviously, there's a lot of newness on this roster, so these games are their first time in game situations beyond the floor together. How do you think that this group has developed together? Do you feel like a lot of maybe the mistakes and the turnovers that are being made are still just a product of everyone kind of getting used to where they need to be on the floor?
Definitely. I mean, it's all of that. It's all the fact that we have to do a better job of trusting each other on the court, not forcing plays that aren't there. And it comes from a good place, man. People want to win, and where they've been able to make those plays individually. But now it's going to take a collective effort. Like I said, a lot of guys are moving up levels, and it's going to take a collective effort. We have to do it together. And, the best way to learn that is over the last 2 games we just played, because you have shining examples on tape of, hey, this is good. Hey, we have to get better in this area. This is something you shouldn't attempt because it's going to put you in a tough position, a compromising position. And so we have that now to be able to give them solid feedback, as opposed to me saying it in practice and them still not really certain because they think they may still be able to get away with it when they play. Now I think they realize after 2 games that we've played, no, we can't get away with those things. We have to do it a different way. And we're going to grow from that experience.
Coach, you had 33 points off the bench tonight. What is it like having guys who can come off the bench and kind of reignite a stalling offense?
It's important. We didn't always have that capability even last season or last few seasons. I think where we had some guys that can come in and spark us. I think we have some guys that are capable of doing that as they continue to develop. And I think that'll help us, because on nights where maybe someone doesn't have it going, maybe that person can get it going for you. So, and also when he comes on the floor, he becomes another threat because you have to pay attention to him. So just when that person subs in, it's not like these teams don't scout. They're terrific coaches. They're going to make sure they identify that player, which means that's a good thing. That means maybe someone else has it a little bit easier and can play a little more freer because they have to focus their attention on some other guys that are subbing in as well.
Coach, we know basketball is a game of runs, and both teams went on some significant runs in this game. How important is it for you to establish in your team that you need to survive the runs to eventually claw back into the game?
Very, very important that we understand that. No matter how well we play, typically against the competition that we're going to face, teams are going to make runs just like we're going to make runs. And we have to try to stymie their runs as fast as we possibly can. And that's one of the toughest things in sports to do. There's an old saying, momentum is hard to beat. When teams get going, trying to stop that is really, really hard. And so I give our guys credit on several occasions in the second half at slowing their momentum down. And like I said, they do a good job. And the point guard was really, really good. I mean, so, with that, we still found ways to kind of stop it and maybe turn the momentum around some. And so that just shows me that these guys have a competitive spirit, because you have to have a real tough competitive spirit to be able to do that when teams get going. And I think we were able to do that several times when they had momentum.
George had a productive day on the perimeter. How important is his presence going to be, especially in situations where teams are throwing doubles and traps at Riley, Themis, so on, and having him in that open situation?
George?
Yeah.
Oh, no, absolutely. He's a capable scorer. And, he's a 3-level player. He can score it outside. He can get to the mid-range. He can score it at the basket. And so his is, again, just getting comfortable with our system, comfortable with the team guys he plays with, and he will. I think the Duke game was very good for him. It was his first game probably with an opponent like that. And I like to see how a guy responds after having a night like he had. And so he showed me something with the way he bounced back tonight and his performance. And that's what we have to have. We have to have guys that believe in themselves enough, even when things don't go as well, that it doesn't carry over 3, 4, 5 games before they kind of, come out of that fog. And so it was good to see kind of who he is as a person and as a player.
Earlier,
Last
you
question.
said that you need your team to play 40 minutes, not 20, 25. Did LSU do something differently, make an adjustment that threw you guys off to start the second half?
Well, no, I thought what they did was they came out. Of course, they came out down, so they came out with an intent, with a force, kind of like they started the game off with, and we had to respond to that. I didn't think we responded to that to the level that we needed to, and then we put some pressure on ourselves defensively. I don't think we started the half off as great with basically we were pressing a little bit offensively. And you can't. You got to let the game come to you, and that's every single player and every single team. I thought we kind of pressed to try to build the lead real, quicker coming out of halftime. And that's guys getting to know us and getting to know each other. Like I said, all comes from a good place. Guys want to win. Guys can make plays to help us win. But we have to understand that we have to let it all come to us when we're out there playing. And when it comes to you, the game is easier than when you start trying to impose your will on it, And so I thought we'll get better from that. And not one single player. I think all of our guys were a little bit, itchy to try to make something happen instead of letting it just happen, organically when you're playing, and then the plays will develop. And so we're trying to teach our guys right now the importance of pace on offense. We had a lot of opportunities in transition. I don't think we capitalized on as many of them as we should have. I think because we were trying to rush. I think in the half court at times, instead of understanding how to slow it down, I thought we still was playing a little bit faster than I want to play. And they're going to learn that. We're going to learn it together. And like I said, all comes from a great place. I think these guys have an amazing will to want to win. I think they all are competitors. And now we have to pull it all together.